All right, race fans, we are back. Episode number 308 of the One to Go show. I'm your host, Brian Aho. And yeah, regardless of what Jeff Krause says, he's not the host. He did a hell of a job last week, though. I'll give it hat tip right there to the 29 star. And of course, we got the former crew chief of the 71.8 track champion up at the Proctor Speedway. We got Changa in the house. And how the hell you doing?
I'm good. I'm doing really good. I got home here and I had enough time to get dinner done before you were ready. It was a little bit of a pain in the neck trying to wake Bert up for the show, but I know he's old and has to work in the morning, so we'll forgive him.
Yeah, he texted. I'm sleeping. I'm like, I don't know. It's 7:45. I wasn't really sure if he was serious. I'm not really sure, but glad to have Bert back with us. But glad to be back on the show 308. And I actually listened to the One to Go show first time, guys. Like in all these years, 308 episodes. I've never gone back listened to a show. And Bo Brown said, "Hey, you got to listen to it. They did a good job without you." I'm like, "Shit, I might have to retire." Maybe we get Cross to do it full time, but my mom said, "Hey, we got to listen to it driving down the road in Montana." And you guys did good. You held down the fort, kept out of trouble. Not too bad. So,
Well,
this,
hey, I got Chunga. I got a story for you. I it must have been Saturday, maybe Saturday. I don't know. It was after we did the show, and my phone rings, and Ryan Aho on the screen. So why is Ryan calling me? So then I answer it, and then eventually he puts his mom on the phone
Yeah.
to try to guilt me into going to the Tardy Memorial.
I love it.
fans of the show want to see Burt Lehman, right? Fans of the show want to see you, and most of the group is going to be up there in Hibbing. We'll talk about that a couple weeks out, Friday, July 10th. But
Are
um,
we planning on doing something live from, the One to Go show, doing something live from there?
yeah, before the races, absolutely. We're doing a pre-race up there for sure.
Awesome.
So we're going to be doing a pre-race, and obviously, I'm going to have to handle the payout afterwards. We're paying cash. We got a ton of bonuses, so won't be able to go live right after. But we might do some kind of a recap after too once we get done with that. But it's going to be fun. We'll talk more about the tardy in just a little bit. But Kraus talking a big game, talking all that smack. He gets one podium in, like, I don't know, the last 3, 4, 5 years. I'm not really sure, right? About the same amount of podiums as I've had really in the last, I don't know, decade. And he gets all cocky, he gets all confident, and then he comes back on the
Yeah.
show, goes back to the races, and I don't know, could DNF in the heat, no top fives. We'll talk about that, right? He's all adamant of a team car. I don't know. I think he got a little too big for his britches there. We're gonna have to have a little talking to that boy. So
However, his other teammate happened to win over there at Viking, so that was cool.
that is true. That is true. So this episode brought to you by Impact Health Sharing. So if you're in the market for healthcare, if you're somebody that pays for your own health insurance, maybe you're a small business, a family, farmer, whatever it is, if you're paying too much and you're wondering how can I pay less, Impact Health Sharing has been great for a lot of people. Low deductibles, low cost. You can go to any providers. Check that out. Give me a call, 218-969-1380. Hit me up on Facebook. I can get you a quick, no obligation quote, get you the information you need to see if Impact Health Sharing can be right for you. So, guys, I had a first. I shouldn't say a first. I went to a race in Montana. Oh man, but before I was 10 years old, I must have been 6, 7, 8 years old. My mom and dad brought me to the old Capital City Speedway out in Helena, Montana, which is no longer a thing now. So it doesn't exist anymore. And we did stop at a couple years back. We stopped at Gallatin when I went out for a wedding, and they had races, but Mom vetoed us. Dad and I wanted to catch the races, and she's like, "We got to get to the wedding. We gotta be at a groom's dinner." It's like, we're not in the wedding. We're not even in the wedding party. Why do we got to be at the groom's dinner? Well, Mom wasn't having that, right? So we ended up going to the groom's dinner. This time it was Mom and I said, "Hey, I got to get over there and talk to the boys, promote the Tardy Memorial." She's like, "Yeah, let's go to the races." I'm like, "Hell yeah, we're in." So we go to Gallatin over in Belgrade, right? I pull in, And Dave Weiss, the promoter's over there, and he's like, "Oh shit!" He says. He looks at me. He goes, "What are you doing here?" He goes, "You better just say nice things about this place on your show. I ain't gonna be having don't be talking bad about us on the show." He said. So, shout out Dave. Hell of a job out there. We're gonna talk a little bit about that, but the racing was pretty good. Bert, they had the smallest crowd though they had all year. I don't know if I told you. Did I tell you how many people they had roughly there? If you had to guess, if I said they said it was the smallest crowd they had all year, and we're in the middle of Montana, how many people would you guess?
400.
They had right around 2,000 people in the grandstands, and that was the smallest. Now, let's face it, right? The next closest track, 150 miles away or whatever, so that probably plays into it. But the first thing I noticed is you're sitting there. When is the last time either of you have literally sat at a racetrack, watched dirt track racing, right, with snow in the background?
Never.
75 degrees out, sunny
Red Clay
skies.
Classic, maybe.
Yeah, a little bit of flurries. Didn't get not on the ground at the red clay, but they got the snow-capped mountains in the background, super picturesque. I thought it was absolutely awesome. They actually packed the track there. What a concept, right? Cars
They have a
going.
water truck, that
They have
means.
a water truck. They packed the track. And Bo said, "Hey, you got to go to the pit meeting." I'm like, "Oh boy, I haven't been to a pit meeting in years." He goes, "You got to go over there. Dave chews everybody's ass." He goes, "It'll be good. You got to go." Sure as shit, I get over there and he's just barking at the Sport Compact guys. I ain't gonna be having none of this shit, driving like a bunch of idiots out there. Brake pedals on the left. I'm like, that used to be me getting yelled at the pit meeting. This is kind of nice seeing somebody else get yelled at. It's kind of fun. I kind of like it. So the racing, quick recap on that. 65-year-old The Rock, right? Rock DeGale. I think it's DeGale. I think is how you say his name. He kind of put a hurting on him. It was kind of like, think back to Proctor, right, Changa? Proctor had, you could rip the lip on the top of 3 and 4, bottom of 1 and 2, kind of a 2 different racetrack type of deal. That's how this was. You could hustle the high side in 1 and 2, 3 and 4 kind of on the bottom. I really like that unique, where it's not just rip the lip all the way around the track or the bottom all the way around the track. 2 distinct lines on each end. I thought was cool. He got her done. Taylor Johnson got it done in the mods, second straight over there. But Jordan Tonchi, 11th to 2nd. He put on a hell of a show, just about got him at the end. Superstock's first-time winner, Matt Tribble, getting it done. And this is one I want to talk about. She got a little honky-tonk there, boys, at the end of the Superstock feature. Shit got a little western, right? He's battling up there with Taylor Martin for the lead with couple laps to go. Martin got inside of him, and he kind of threw the block, right? Martin was a little upset. He fell back to 4th in that deal. Meerhofer gets inside of him. We know Jeremy Meerhofer's won a ton of races. Threw the block on him, got a little bit aggressive, and the track promoter told him, he goes, "You drive like that, we're not going to be having any of that." I got to be honest. Well done. Well done. You're trying to win your first feature race. Dude, I don't give two shits. If it's you, my mom, I don't care. I'm running you over. I'm running the infield. I'm going to pinch you into the fence. That's what you do. You're trying to get your first win. I mean, they had plenty of people in their pit, right? They brought their own friends. What's your thoughts on that? You're battling for your first win. Somebody gets inside of you. Are you totally opposed to him just flat out running that guy into the infield, Changa?
No, not at all.
Bert?
I mean, you got chopping them, getting into the corner. I'm the leader. I got the whole track.
You got to do what you got to do, right? You got Jordan Hinkemeyer.
We didn't go there to freaking get second. We didn't go there to make friends. Brought our own. We went there to win. That's it. Period.
Jordan Hinkemeyer asked me this earlier today. He goes, when you're battling for the win and racing in the super stocks, did you ever have to kind of get into somebody for a win or quarter pound? We never did that. I mean, we've seen a lot of people do that. I didn't believe in that, Bert. We just flat out, we were always played nice. One body all year long, no scuff marks in it at all. Bullshit. You do what you got to do. You're trying to win, right? This ain't needlepoint, right? You're not trying to go out and make kumbaya. You're trying to win races. Now, I get it. You don't want to flat out monster truck somebody, but maybe you do. We'll talk about that in just a little bit too. But one of the things that I did out there, we went out saw Bo Brown. Shout out to the Double O. And my mom and I get over to his shop there, stop over at Victory Lane's bowling alley in Deer Lodge, and brought me over to the race shop. And I said, well, hey, let's take a look at this thing. Let's make it a little bit better. He's like, hell with that. Let's go in the mountains. Let's go in the mountains. So I don't necessarily get into all the details, but we drove around the mountains for about 6 hours. Bert, we literally chased a bull moose down a trail in a mountain. We saw elk, whitetail. We saw 4 big mule deer at the same time. I mean, it was like we're in freaking Yellowstone out there. I got to be honest. I don't know if I would have been all that into racing if I lived in the freaking mountains like you're in Yellowstone National Park. Probably would have, but it was super cool. So thanks a lot, Bo, for the trip up in the mountains. He's actually making the trip to the Tardy. Hopefully a few people can come with. And another driver that wasn't there. Jesus. Let me take a look at this here. I got my notes. Give me 1 second, boys. Did you guys keep track of anything that happened over at Gallatin there?
I just the winners.
Just the winners? I got to look at something here. Give me 1 second. So have you guys ever been out to the mountains out there?
I have not.
Neither one of you? God, you two are just absolute city slickers. It's embarrassing having you guys on here. I got to be honest, right?
Only scenery I want to see is the concrete jungle.
I wanted to make sure I got that right. So Zane Lemire, 13 or 14-year-old rookie, did a good job. Keeps the car nice and smooth, nice and straight. Pat Lemire not able to be there. Those two said that they might make the trip over to the Tardy too. So hopefully they can make it over. But I want kind of cool seeing I think 13-year-old kid in a super stock kind of holding his own out there as well. So fun time out at Gallatin. So Dave, don't worry about it. I got to be honest, didn't really see anything that I could absolutely hammer on you. I don't know that Bert would have made it though. Races didn't start till 7:30.
Oh Christ!
Yeah, which I thought was fantastic, right? I mean, when the races started at 7:30, you're not competing against the sun, right? What time do you suppose they got done, Bert?
10:30.
Just before, not even a 3-hour show. What are we talking about on the show all the time?
How many classes did they run?
4.
Hey, interesting concept, right?
100%. And that's what he said. He goes, we run 4 classes. They kind of rotate a couple in. You know, they have multiple classes that race there, but they're like, we want to have a 3-hour window. And guess what they had going on after the races in the Pittsburgh?
Fans.
Interacting
with drivers.
A bunch of fans. So there you have it. I don't care if you get done racing at 8, 9, or 10. If you're there for 5, 6 hours, guess what you're not going to have? You're not going to have people wanting to stick around. You have a 2-hour, 45-minute show, 3-hour show. You have people come down. You build that culture. I think they did a great job. I'm glad we went out there. So let's have a one-to-go show team recap there, Changa.
Yeah, so, and I'm kind of happy because I did make a bold prediction on our team this last week, and it did happen to come true, but we'll talk about that a little later. Oh, let's see. Let me get to it here. I got a million pages of notes. I guess the one-to-go show Hornet, Brady Faso, he got a win. Since the show last night, we were doing it on Thursday, but he won after the show, so he got the win up at Grand Rapids. I went to Hibbing Saturday, got 3rd, and then he went to Proctor Sunday, got 2nd. So that's 3 podiums in 3 nights for the one-to-go show 27. And then we'll leave this little bit of drama in this. Our friend Brian down there in Illinois in the Pierce stock, he started outside pole in the feature, wheeled it all the way up to 8th. So,
hey, you got to come on now, Changa. What the hell is wrong with you here? Why?
That's an improvement.
Why do you have to be a hater? Why don't you talk about the heat race? Why don't you talk
I
about the heat race?
I didn't even look at.
Why don't you talk about the heat race? He literally went +5 in the heat race.
I didn't even look at the heat race results. I'm sorry.
No credit there. Let's just bang on the guy because he went backwards in the feature. No love. You're supposed to be a team captain here. What the hell's wrong with you?
Let me ask you a quick question then. If you started outside pole and finished 8th, what would I have said to you when you came in the pits?
You would have fucking left. You wouldn't even talk to me.
Yeah, because you'd have been so pissed you've been throwing shit. Uh, and then, I'll tell you what, the next guy, he was, a returning member of the show, Coach Kraus. You want to talk about what he did this week?
Well, we're gonna talk about Dave. He got another
No, I know.
second
I was
place
saving
finish.
him for last because that was the
Okay.
drama in my deal. But yeah,
So Kraus adamant, Bert, adamant. Hey, I'm part of the team, and he is. He's got one to go show on both sides. You got to talk about my show. You got to talk about how I do. Well, you got last in the heat. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. I know he didn't finish. He got tired. He's old. He did the show last week. Our fault. You guys.
was he
If I would have
tired
been on,
or did he get tired? I
I
mean, is
think
that why he broke? He hit another
I
tractor tire?
maybe, but I think he was just tired, right? We had him on the show, all that mental stress and exhaustion. He just probably couldn't focus, and he needed a nap, right? He had to pull Anthony Richardson, like in the NFL, he had to just take a time out. Couldn't make all the laps in the heat, so he pulled off. And then in the feature, he did go +5, 13th up to 8th, but nowhere near the podium finish. So let's get it together there, 29 star. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Bailey, the other, the teammates, he did a little bit better than that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he parked it right in victory lane, right where he belongs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then of course our other guy, Dave, of course, in the street stock down there, he won his heat. Started P4 in the feature, brought it home second to Zuby. Zuby started side by side with him on the second row. So that's 1, 2,
two
3,
first.
4 podiums, which makes my bold prediction
Yep.
correct. So I'm liking that.
You did 2 firsts, a fourth, and a second in the last 4 for Dave Dulciak. So that's pretty solid right there. Keep up the good work. So let's get into the top stories. So Bert, I'm gonna ask you. I expect the right answer, even if you have to lie. I expect the right answer. Okay. Did you watch the Street Stock Tour races this weekend?
Yes.
That a kid right there. That a kid. Okay. So let's face it. We've talked about it, right? We like late models. We like sprints. We like them all. Street Stock's put on some damn good racing. I'll just kind of roll through the first 3, all 3 nights. P-Town, little right side romance there, right? Pogel kind of messed up. Gullickson shut the door, kind of give him a little love on the way by. Late race pass. Jamie G getting it done. Tommy Pagonis, runner up. Night number 2, P-Money, Parker Anderson, parking in Victory Lane. Very limited schedule. Good to have him back. 9th to 2nd, Tommy Pagonis. Your winner at Granite City, Tommy Pagonis. That's a hell of a weekend. 2 seconds and a first, right? So let's talk about what happened, though. So there was a little bit of drama late race between Rant and Parker Anderson. Depends who you talk to on what the opinion is. You can watch it on DRC.
Last straightaway.
Yeah, well, that was a little different. I'm talking about when Parker Anderson got put to the back. I mean,
Right.
Parker Anderson got put to the back with a little contact. Rand kind of sounds like he maybe shut the door. Parker Anderson clipped the tire.
Yeah.
Bad deal, right? But last lap coming into 3. Why don't you take us through that, Changa?
Yeah, so last lap coming into 3, Rant Levi got a good run on the outside, and it was going to be a photo finish in it. I'm not in the car, but I know Tommy made his, like we just talked about. He made his awful wide and moved up until he felt him. And when he felt him, Levi Rant then felt the wall and come off the wall, ended up turning Tommy Pagonis sideways and pushing him sideways down the front straightaway across the finish line. Looked to be a photo finish for second between Levi Rant and Mike Jans there. And long story short, there was a lot of questions and what are they going to do? What's the call going to be here? What should we do? What is the call? And at the end of the day, they gave the win to Tommy Pagonis. They DQ'd nobody. They gave Rant second. And I don't know. I mean, at the line, it looked like Mike Jans possibly could have been in second, but I don't know. I didn't go back and look at the live scoring to see how that all played out, but maybe they just went back to their positions the last lap. I guess I don't know how that went, but
Bert, you
whale of a finish anyhow.
I saw that incident, yes.
Yeah. So if you look at the overhead, the drone view of that deal, I'm not totally sure there was contact between Pagonis and Rant coming off of 4. Okay, it looked like it looked a little bit different on the overhead view than it did the straightaway view on the camera. So check that out. But long story short, you got Pagonis dead sideways facing the wall and Rant pushing him down the front straightaway across the line. And James was not impressed. He was irate. And, you know, and cooler heads prevailed. We'll get to that, but he come down and he was chewing ass. And quite honest, there's been a lot of shit that's happened in racing over the last year. I mean, I think there was another fatality in an enduro this past weekend, right? So, I mean, there's been some crazy stuff happening, people getting hurt, people dying, a lot of injuries. So as a track promoter, you're thinking, holy shit, if I have people doing dumb stuff, I don't need a lawsuit. I don't need my place. I don't need my bank account drained because of a fatality or something. So that's his side of it, sitting there. Hey, we got to be a little smarter than this. I've talked to you guys already once before. Let's get our shit together. But then on the flip side of it, you know, after he completely lost his shit, right? I mean, he was chewing ass down there. They were delayed for pretty significant amount of time, and to the best of my understanding, he looked at it over and over and over, multiple views, and different officials down there, they said, screw it, DQ them both, give Jans the win. And he's like, I'm going to look at this. I'm going to look at it. It didn't bring out a yellow. There was no caution. He decided, you know, whatever. That we'll just call it a race. And he just called it, I think they called it the right way. In fact, if it's me, I pay them both double because it's probably the most exciting thing that happened there in a long time, right? The crowd is into that shit. You got to have some rowdiness. You got to have some excitement. It was hard racing. You're racing. I don't care if you're racing for 300 to win, 1,000 to win, or 25,000 to win. I don't care. You're racing hard. You want to go to the front. Yeah, some shit got tore up for sure. But I am so entirely sick of this Trans Am style race. Oh, we can't be bumping people and we got to play nice. And I get it. Shit is crazy expensive now, especially as you're moving up into modifieds, late models. You start tearing up those cars. I mean, we're talking most people can't afford to have a car, let alone maintain a car throughout the course of the season. But the fact of the matter is, you want people excited. You want people coming back. You want people on their feet. Do you think that when the Street Stock Tour comes back to town next year, that's going to add fans there because it was an exciting finish? What do you think?
I hope so. I mean, and quite honestly, I got to give them guys props. That track for that Street Stock feature was freaking good. I mean, that was a racy racetrack. And, you know, aside from, you know, because like you talked about it, what you would have done in the situation, I'll be honest, the first time I saw that, you know, I'm like, oh my God, I got to see that again. Rewind it, look at it again. I'm like, Pagonis just flat out came up the track and stuffed him in the wall. That was my initial thought. I mean, and now I'm thinking, well, what would I do? Not even taking into consideration no yellow came out and they actually crossed the line. I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm gonna DQ Pagonis. I'm either sending him to the back and going back a lap, or I'm black flagging him and giving the win to Rant. Something, one way or another, I'm giving the win to Rant. And then, you know, we got to talking about that. I was like, yeah, I guess it's kind of unprecedented because they all finished, right? I mean,
yeah, and the car that was sideways crossed the line first. I mean, I don't know, Bert. You just think good hard racing there was the right call made? Would you have done anything different there if it was you?
I mean, I watched it a few times, and I mean, if I had to call it on somebody, I'd call it on the inside car, Pagonis. But you know, I watched it a few times, and it's like it's hard racing. Well, I didn't realize that they never threw the yellow, and if they never threw the yellow, you almost have to go with how they did it. The only thing you could do is disqualify without throwing a yellow. You can't, you know, just put them to the back.
Yeah, so I think ultimately the right call was made. But speaking of Trantino, we asked this question a few weeks back, right? When it was official that he had 3 racetracks, we said, what is the first national touring series that's going to come in for a 3-track swing? We got that answer. We got that. Bert, did you see that?
Yes, the USMTS.
USMTS modified,
Yeah,
Changa. I got some.
they're digging for gold or something, right?
Yes, they are. So I have the details here, Changa. Do you have the
Yeah.
details as well?
I don't have all of them. I know it's they're going August 12th and 13th up to or down to I-94 Speedway. Then they're going to Brainerd on the 14th, Granite on the 15th. I know they have some really nice pay, some bonuses for top Wasota cars. I don't have the details on what the payout is. If you do, that would be great.
Yeah, Thursday's 3,000 to win, 300 to start. Friday's 5,000 to win, 500 to start. Saturday 10,000 to win, 800 to start, and Sunday 15,800 to start.
Wow.
So we're talking real legit big weekend swing for the USMTS modified, and like you said, several bonuses added on top of that. So that's going to be if you're a modified fan, get that one on your calendar. It's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. I got a feeling. I just got a feeling you ain't seen nothing yet. I just, you go big or go home with that guy, right? I mean, I just, would you expect to see a big late model show on that swing as well?
I could see a world in which Brainerd gets a World Outlaw show in the near future.
Yeah, I think I just don't feel like that's the last we've heard of National Touring Series coming to those racetracks. I think there's going to be more. So get that on your calendar. You can jump onto USMTS on Facebook. They have all the details for that. I'm super excited for that. A lot of good things happening up in, I guess, central to northwestern Minnesota. So how about a shout out to Mac and the gang over at East Central Sports over in Rush City, Minnesota, about an hour north of the Twin Cities, just off of I-35. So they are your number one source for pit bikes, kids ATVs, golf carts, Toro, zero-turn lawnmowers. They got all kinds of cool kid shit over there. And I talked to Mac here actually yesterday. Looks like I will be having my golf cart for the Tardy Memorial. Super excited about that. But a lot of cool stuff over there. You can check them out online at www.eastcentralsports.com. Let them know you heard about them on the One to Go show for $100 off your next big purchase over there. So let's get into who's hot, who's kind of rolling. We're getting to about the midpoint of the season. I think we'll start getting into some who's not probably next week. But let's just get into the national scene here. So we'll go Bert, we'll go Changa, and then maybe I'll have a little tidbit in there as well. So Bert, anything on the national scene that kind of stuck out to you?
Nothing, absolutely nothing. No.
He was too busy watching Street Stocks.
True.
Bobby Pierce has just taken over as the top driver I mean, it's not even a debate anymore who the top driver in the country is. At least I don't think it is. He's just been dominating. I mean, I was at 141 and wow, he draws the pole every time he's at a race, so that helps. But I mean, that's not the reason that he wins. But he won the World of Outlaw race at 141 Speedway. It was a very challenging weekend weather-wise for the World of Outlaws at 141 Speedway. They're supposed to race on Friday night and Saturday night. Friday night, they got qualifying in, and then it rained for a little bit. They got the track worked in again. They ran the support classes, and then the late model heat race, and then it rained again, and they were working the track back in, and they almost had it work back in, and then it started raining. It never rained enough to just, okay, we just got to pull the plug. It was always just enough to ruin things. But they almost had the track packed in on Friday night. And then I saw a streak of lightning go across the sky, and this isn't good. And they finally just pulled the plug on Friday night. But it definitely would have been it was a heavy track. I mean, in that heat race, those cars were flying on that track. But anyway, Bobby Pierce won the next night, 25,000 to win, 60 lap feature. I was worried about late models racing 60 laps on that track, because I've seen a lot of choo-choo train races there in late models. Track was good. It was a exciting race. Troutman was able to stick with Pierce through the first half of the race, but then his motor went kaboom, and that was the end of Troutman. And then a little bit of rain came again. So, and this is what I don't understand. The little bit of the rain came, and the world of and Ruben announced they're going to pull the cars in by the World of Outlaw trailer in the pits, and we're just going to go into a holding pattern.
Hose
And
drag.
so they got the it stopped raining. They got the track worked, packed and worked and ready to race again. And then Ruben announced that well, they corralled the top three cars, but the rest of the cars went to their trailers. So we're just letting everybody make changes to their cars. So everybody made changes. They all put new tires on, and I wish that they wouldn't have allowed any changes because I think that would have been more interesting. But I mean, Bobby Pierce even said in Victory Lane afterwards that that rain delay just cost us an extra $1,000 because you have to put new tires on because everybody else was doing it. So, um, but but yeah, Bobby Pierce. Is definite, and then he went and backed it up on Monday night and won again. So, um, I can go through some other stuff from 141 if you want me to.
Yeah, have at her. What else you
Okay,
Might
got?
as well go back. Did you watch Thursday's show at all when we got done with the show?
I at 141,
Yeah.
was it on anywhere?
I didn't know. I thought they
Oh,
kind of had
I
their
don't
own
think it.
feed out
I don't
there.
think it was streamed anywhere. But yeah,
Okay.
Dallin Murray won that one. That was his first race or first victory in a late model. Uh, it was I wasn't there, but I'm it was good to see that he raced. Dylan Thornton raced on Thursday night.
Trey Mills got
Trey
second.
Mills raced on Thursday night. So it was a good chance for them to get some extra experience. But a good run by McCready. I guess that was a brand new car that he was racing. So it was good to see him run well. Even though the results may not show in the feature, Dylan Thornton ran good most of the weekend. I mean, he had good qualifying runs, good heat race runs. He started second in the feature. He faded to 10th in the final standings. But I thought he looked good out
Respectable.
there for his limited amount of time in a late model. Dallin Murdy on Saturday night went from 18th to 6th. So that was a good run for him. And Trey Mills went from 14th to 7th. We had four locals made the show. Joel Bennett finished 15th. Nick Avalink finished 16th. Terry Casey finished 24th. And Brett Swedberg finished 25th. And there were 35 late models signed in on Friday night and 32 signed in on Saturday night. I was surprised to see that there were more late models at 141 than were racing Monday night in Minnesota. So I was a little surprised by that.
Yeah, overall pretty good show. I have a feeling that, they'll probably be invited back after that deal.
Yep, and Bobby Pierce, he didn't even
Went
really have
swimming.
to be cursed too much. He jumped in the pond after the victory, so that was pretty cool. And then I'm assuming that was one of his main crew members that jumped in too. And then they were interviewing McCready, and then during that interview, the camera's on McCready, but I was able to see what was going on. Pierce picked up his wife, and they both jumped in the pond together.
Nice.
So,
Nice. Good to see him having a little fun with it for
Hey,
sure.
speaking of that, a couple of
but
them young
so
ones, Murdy just won a heat at I-94.
Okay.
But hopefully, with the weather and everything, I mean, hopefully the track, hopefully they made some money. But if they didn't make some money, hopefully it wasn't too bad of a financial outcome, based on the weather and everything. They had a large crowd on Saturday night, so that was good to see.
Tonga, how about you? What do you got on the national scene?
Yeah, I mean, Bert touched on most of it. Obviously, Pierce is red hot right now. He's won 6 out of the last 7 nights he's been out with that new car, and the one night he lost was a fourth at West Virginia there. His point leads up to like 55. Brent Marks I had as a sprint car driver. He got a first, first and a second out at Skagit. He's got 9 podiums with 2 wins in his last 11 races, and that's just a remarkable turnaround because everything was going wrong for him, and he just couldn't find his ass if he had to in the first half of the year. Last week we didn't. Well, I don't know if we even knew at this time, but Tanner Holmes with his first win last week at Shelby County there, and then he backed it up with 3 fifth-place finishes out at Skagit. So really nice job for him. That's about all I got on there. I got a bunch of cold guys, but we ain't gonna get into that tonight. Why don't you go ahead, Ryan?
Well, you can, because it's kind of interesting. Hudson O'Neal was one of the hottest drivers in the national scene. Why don't you talk a little bit? I know you had a couple pretty cool stats there. You can do that quick.
So Hudson O'Neal's gone 16 straight races without a win. His last win was at Eagle Raceway, May 14th. Devin Moran's gone 20 without a win. His last win was April 24th at Georgetown. And then Brandon Overton, 20 races without a win. His was April 15th at Volunteer Speedway. So there's 3 pretty high profile guys. And then you add Ricky Thornton into the mix. He's won a couple, but every night he does he's just had nothing but awful luck the nights other than them 2 nights,
Yeah, and that is interesting because I mean the recency bias, we kind keep thinking Hudson O'Neal's one of the hottest drivers out there, but he's kind of cooled down a little bit.
Well, and then, so in that deal, right, he went in the last weekend with a 150-point lead, left the weekend with a 20-point lead, right? And the second night it was bad luck. He was starting up front, and the car wouldn't start on the front straightaway. Just had a loose wire or something on the ignition switcher or something that made him have to get pushed into the hot pit and then start at the tail. I think he got back up to like 9th, but he's squandering away a huge point lead right now.
Bert?
I was just going to say, Jonathan Davenport just raked over the MLRA over the weekend. Did you see the picture that somebody created where he's holding the check where it says cherry picker, $10,000?
I'm torn on this deal, right? Because, but let's face it, he's doing the World of Outlaw deal this week. I mean, it's not like he's shying away from the big money shows, but that's is it part of the benefit of running just an open deal of going, hey, I'm going to go sell some t-shirts at some tracks that I never raced at, and yeah. So, I mean, with that said, I mean, I heard he does have a farm over there. He's farming cherries. So there is that.
That was it. That was what I wrote in my notes. It says JD a pair at the cherry picking tour races at the Salina High Banks MLRA deal last week. You saw he was fast as hell Monday night, but you saw what happened when he had to race hard. Drives himself right into the wall. So
I was just going to say, you don't see JD do that too often. Put it in the wall like he did.
No, for sure not. Hey, do you see one of the old guys had a pretty good weekend last weekend there, Bert?
Yeah, I did see that. Billy Moyer added to his Hell Tour Victory Tour. It's 103 or something like that?
102.
Yeah.
102?
102.
Okay.
And how about last weekend with the old Mac Daddy? Didn't he get a second and a first?
Yes, he did.
So McDowell. So another thing here. So Turbo's been good. Doesn't he have 7 straight top 5 finishes with the World of Outlaws? He's been solid up front. I am mightily impressed. So Trey Mills looks like he might be the real deal.
Yeah.
It's going to be really fun to see what he has. Interesting to see what happened with Drake Troutman. Don't know all the details, but him and J.R. Smith parting ways. Jake Tim going to be filling that seat through the Go for 50. But Bert, did you happen to see who else is going to be running a late model at the Go for 50?
Apparently, I have not.
The double O. Steve Arpin, the proprietor of Longhorn. And I will say this. He's going to run with the Tri-State Series all 3 nights. And I had a couple people say, well, what the hell? He's going to that series. Why isn't he going to run? He hasn't really raced competitively for a decade. Why would he go race with the Outlaws? That would make no sense. So he's going to run with the Tri-State. I'm going to be honest. I am absolutely going to tune in to the Go for 50, not because of the national tour, not that it won't be good. We've seen some bangers over there that have been awesome, but I'm genuinely a Steve Arpin fan. So I am actually super excited to watch Steve Arpin, come back and, have a 3-night swing down there at a track that he called home there for a few years. He moved down there. Of course, he's from up in Fort Francis area in Ontario, but he lived right down by Deer Creek. So Steve Arpin going to be making some laps in about a week. Pretty excited about that.
Did you see who else is coming back?
No.
I sent you
Oh,
that.
I did. Go ahead.
Daryl Lanigan. It's been a while since. Well, he's going to be racing at Lernersville, but it's been a while since he's raced. But he used to be the most dominant driver there was on the World of Outlaw Tour. I mean, when he was racing, that's when the World of Outlaws came to Shawano every year, and every year I would just please have Lanigan start somewhere at least middle of the field, so he has to work his way up to the front because he just dominated at that time.
100%. So let's get into
I don't know, Ryan, if we did any. I don't know if we did any justice talking about the national stuff if we don't even touch on Huset's at all, right? I mean, well, that's going to be one of the biggest fame shows of the year, right? David Gravel ultimately getting the big show for $300,000 out there. Buddy Kofoid getting the $100,000 win on the second night as well as winning the first night. And then Sheldon getting the win and also had a couple of seconds. And then old Donnie Schatz had a second and a third the last 2 nights. So a good job for him out there, too.
Schatz was solid. Sheldon was really good. And, of course, Kofoid was.
And I guess Brad Sweet getting the $100,000 out at Skagit, too. So,
yeah, so-called limited schedule, right? He's been running a lot more than I thought. Not running for points, but he's been racing quite a bit.
Did you see Skagit had 53 cars? Huset's had 50 or 51. Skagit actually had more cars.
Well, and that was interesting.
They were Pennsylvania guys driving past to go out the way out there to race that deal.
So Josh told me that Huset's is actually considering moving their show a week or two out to not be against Skagit next year. So it sounds like they might be rescheduling that to kind of not be on top of each other, which would be a super good thing to do. Let's jump into the late models on the regional local level. What do you got there?
Go ahead, Bert.
Well, I kind of went over mine. That was the only late model racing in eastern Wisconsin last week. Actually, that was the only racing in eastern Wisconsin. Everything else got rained out, or the tracks weren't running.
Yeah, fair enough. I guess I got on the local late model level. I had Dave Moss. He picked up a pair of wins this past week at I-94 and Granite. Here's one for you. Ryan Schaffler, his first ever career feature win. He won the 1-car feature race out there at Fiesta City last week.
He got DQ'd.
Congratulations. Yeah.
You didn't. He got DQ'd. Post-race tech, Bert. Only car there, they got him for deck height at the Fiesta City Speedway. I'm kidding.
Are you serious?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
But anyhow, it's kind of anticlimactic to win a 1-car feature. But hey, I'll take my first one. You didn't even have to put grandma into the wall for that one, so didn't probably get any dents or anything.
I did find it interesting, though. Josh mentioned too that, they, because of the low car count last week, they decided to not have them this week. Yeah. Well, there's nobody in the area racing Friday night against them.
Probably waited one more week.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking there, but I guess that's basically. And there is a bunch of late model guys that live right in town there, right? I mean, you got Gilbertson, you got the Tollicksons.
Well, and then Zach and his kid aren't racing right now, so that took a couple away too.
Right. Yeah, I think they kind of run Fergus more anyway.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I had Tyler Peterson 13th to the win at Ogilvy there last week. That was a hell of a show. It was cowboy up, and he put on a clinic on how to get through the ruts there, so that was pretty good. Skeeter Esty got his 4th win of the year. He's won every race at Hibbing, 3 for 3 this year. And then I got Daryl Nelson getting one up at Proctor. It was good to see him at Proctor. And I know the car counts ain't been the greatest, so it was good to see him there. And then
Did you happen to? Cade wasn't there with his car. Do you know
no,
why? Did they have issues or
yeah,
what?
he was cuddling from what sources tell me.
He was there. He
Yeah,
was
he was
down in
there, but he
victory
was
lane.
cuddling. Apparently, his car was ready and in the trailer, but he was cuddling throughout the course of the day. Maybe that's speculation through a source of mine.
Huh.
We'll have
I
to find. Now, I did hear that he's ready to go for this weekend, but
I
oh,
don't really. I guess I
yeah,
don't know what
well,
to think about that. Yeah, that to me that was a little bit mind-boggling. I mean, as a
mhm.
fan, right? I
Usually
don't care.
Daryl
They
wouldn't
got
go unless he was.
yeah. I mean, just as a fan, and they do whatever you got to do. I mean, it's your dollar, not my dollar. But as a fan, I want to see him race at his home track. I want to
Oh
see.
yeah,
I mean, he's there. I mean, there's local fans in the
he's
area that
one of
have
the main
been
reasons I want to turn it on.
for sure. There's people that have been Nelson fans that go to the Proctor Speedway and the Gondakla Speedway. They've been going for decades. They want to see that next generation race at home. The fact that he did not to me was disappointing. So hopefully he races there a little bit more this year.
Sure. And then I just had one more on there because I found it interesting. Adam Hensel got the win in the first late model race in a long time down at the Caston Speedway.
So we're getting to that time of year. We're kind of getting a natty hunting time, right? It's just about to the end of June, right? And then we're going to start getting into the heart of the season through July. Looking at the Wissota landscape right now, um, is there anybody that's got anything for the one TPO right now? I mean, is he kind of in a league of his own as far as battling for a national championship? Can Shane Sabraski stack a few more wins?
Yeah,
It doesn't, to me, it doesn't seem like most people have really put together enough shows to really
right.
make any kind of a run. So
Shane's the
very
only guy
interesting.
that runs enough shows, maybe. I mean, Strand's run fantastic, right? So is the other kid out there from up in Canada there. Them guys are first
Edginton's
and
been
yeah,
good.
Edmonton. He's been great. He won again this week too. They've been winning and finishing first and second a lot of nights, but are they gonna get the amount of shows it'll take to keep up with the one TPO? Becker, same thing. He started out fast as heck, winning, but he's been in a little bit of a slump lately and probably not getting in enough shows.
I think this year is going to be the year where everybody can look at it and say, this is exactly why they need the best 20 shows, not the best 30 shows in late models, because there's just not enough racing, right? And we don't live in a world anymore where people there's a couple, but very few. We don't live in a world though where there's a bunch of people really just chasing after a national championship. So I think things got to be restructured into a way to where the national championship battle is organically more entertaining and more, it's a lot tighter just by limiting the amount of shows that they count. That's just my thoughts, Bert.
I wanted to ask you guys a question. You guys are more familiar with this than I. You follow this closer than I do. Um, what kind of a season is Sabraski having this year? It doesn't seem like we mention his name nearly as much this year as we have in past years, or have we just taken his winning for granted and we don't mention it much?
Quite honestly, I would say it's been a little bit of a down year in the mod, but he's still right up there amongst the
Okay.
leaders and wins in the super stock. Relatively close anyhow. He's probably, I don't know, he's got about five or so in the mod, and I think he's got, I don't know, four or five in the late model. So he's winning, but quite honestly, the weather hasn't been playing nice, and they just haven't gotten the amount of shows either.
When he unloads the super stock, he's a threat to win every time. The
Mhm.
late model, he had kind of a week there where he was like really good for like a week, but he's kind of been not dominant. He's been there. He's been good. He hasn't been like running around the back or anything like that, but just not the dominant
You know,
7A. But again, we're only most of the way through June. We got a
Right.
lot of
I've
racing
seen I've
left.
Right.
seen Dave Moss has put a few shows together
He
and been
has.
running pretty good too. I mean, when all's said and done, them guys that I mean, they're just going to get a few more shows. I mean, you're going to have your guys like him that he's going to have 7, 8 wins and he's going to get to his 30 shows and he's going to they're all going to find themselves in the top five. You'll have like take a guy like Kevin Burdick. He gets a lot of shows. He hasn't been winning a lot of races, but just based on the amount of shows, he's going to make his way far up the ladder.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think right now TPO's got to be in the driver's seat, but this is something we'll track as the season progresses. How about in the modifieds?
Bert, you got any mods this week?
I have nothing. I have
Yeah,
super stocks this week, but no mods.
Okay.
yeah, there was not much. Yeah, like you said, there wasn't much racing over there in eastern Wisconsin. So
So I was watching I just watched Keith Tourville win again. I was getting all distracted. In the mod, I got, of course, Blake Adams. He got a pair of wins this week at Rice Lake and Granite City. He's got, I believe, 9 mod wins and 8 Wasota mod wins on the year. So, he's kind of slowly but surely finding his way to the top in the mods there. Nick Oreskovich got a pair, winning at ABC and Proctor. And then congratulations, Bob Broken got his first of the year up there at Hibbing.
So let's kind of same conversation, right? So I think Blake might have. Does he have the most wins right now in the Wasota mod?
I would have to think so. I didn't crunch all the numbers. I mean, if Cedar Lake was Wasota, we'd have an entirely different conversation right now with Caden Blazer never losing. But
100%. And that's exactly the thing. I'm not saying Cedar Lake needs to be Wasota, right? That's their decision. But if they were, that he would be definitely in the hunt. He'd be, like you said, he'd probably be leading the way. And let's just do a hypothetical. If Cedar Lake was Wasota and with all the wins that he has, would you see Caden Blazer maybe making trips up to Proctor on Sundays just because of the position he's in? Would that automatically gain a car or two?
oh yeah, he's still there with Granite
Or over to Granite,
here's another one. Is Twin Falls going to open back up this year? He might get
They are
halfway
not.
through.
I have heard a little tidbit on Jim Falls, but they're waiting to put an announcement out. I do know a little bit about what they have going on for this coming season, and for next season, but they want to do their own press release, so to speak.
Oh, for sure.
So we'll give them the respect and we'll let them do that. But yeah, you're right, Caden Blazer. Now, obviously Blake is Blake and Blake's running well and he's kind of probably leading the charge there. Sobraski's always going to find himself into the mix. Who's a couple other drivers? Couple for me that come to mind that could maybe sneak in there. Brandon Kopp has been really, really strong as of late. And then Jody Belfi was kind of on a trajectory. Then he had the kind of ordeal down in Proctor. He did have upcoming schedule with a possibility going to Proctor on Sunday. Hopefully that's the case. Anybody other than those drivers that we should watch?
Here's a guy who's won before, and he's got a handful of wins this year. And you can see him start to chase is Cole Chernosky. I mean, he wins every week in Thunder Bay. It wouldn't be, and he comes down to Superior in some places, just been a lot of rainouts, right? But if he's in the mix, he's a guy that'll go get after it and chase. So, I could see him maybe doing some stuff that way. God, I don't know. I mean, I can't really see anybody else that would be, a big points chaser at this point, though.
I think Blake's in the driver's seat as right now, but like we said, end of June, a lot of racing to go. We'll see what the next few weeks bring. Let's jump into the super stocks here. But before we do, shout out to Fast Lane Motorsports and Powder Coating, home right here of the Galloper chassis, right? We, of course, had one of those. Jeff Tardy had one of those in the super stock. We had one in the mod. And the fact is they are they do it all up there. Fast Lane Motorsports up in Ashland, Wisconsin. They do custom powder coating, sandblasting, fabricating. They service a lot of racetracks that are the #1 sponsor of the biggest series in Wasota Racing, the Northland Superstock Series. So a shout out to Chris and the gang. And before we get into the super stocks here, I want to talk about the Tardy Memorial, right? We're a couple weeks away. It is now Wednesday. We're doing the show on Wednesday. It'll probably post on Thursday, meaning that we're just over 2 weeks away. Friday, July 10th, Hibbing Speedway, Hibbing, Minnesota, night 1 of the Northland Superstock Series. But the Tardy Memorial is going to be massive, right? You got 67 to win. There is literally thousands of dollars worth of bonuses. Thank you to all the great sponsors, the fans, the drivers, everybody kicking into this race. Not only big pay for the super stocks, but there's added money for the modifieds, added money that has not been announced yet that is coming for the Midwest Mods and the Hornets. But something that is super cool, guys, is the money that's going to be going to some fans. Anybody, and And I talked to John last night. I was on the Built 2 Media podcast, our sister station over there. Ben and Blake do a great job, so thanks for having me on. Check that show out as well. But they had me on, and they didn't even know about this. I thought we promoted it pretty well. But Bert, check this out. Anybody that kicks in at least $100 to the race, right? It could be as a bonus, it could be to the general fund, it could be to whatever, but anybody that does $100 contribution as a sponsorship to the Tarde Memorial, they get an entry into the drawing. Okay, what does that drawing mean? That means this: for every $100, you get an entry. We're going to draw out 26 names to match up with 26 drivers in the super stock feature. After that, you're going to be partnered up with a driver. Wherever that driver finishes, you're going to get a corresponding prize based on their finishing position. Bert, trivia question. If you're matched up with the driver that wins the super stock feature at the Tarde Memorial, what do you get?
The same amount that that driver wins?
67. So cold hard cash going to be going home in a fan's pocket. But there's 26 prizes.
Correct.
We're going to give out 1,067, 567, Minnesota Wild tickets, Vikings, Twins, Timberwolves, golf passes. We got a 6-foot picnic table from Seasonal Picnic Tables. We got a huge Tardy Memorial commemorative quilt made by Brenda, my cousin Brenda, over in Montana. We have the Victory Lane banner. It's going to be 16 feet long by 7 foot high commemorative Victory Lane banner. That's going to go home with somebody. Oil changes, restaurant certificates, you name it. If you get matched up with a driver, you're going to win some stuff. And if you happen to be the person that wins that, you're going to win some big money. And if you're a super stock driver attending that and you feel like you have a shot to win, you could double up, right? Imagine being somebody that's red hot, Steve Stewart, right? Somebody like that, Shane Sobraski, Joey Jensen, whoever. You're looking to win this race. But all of a sudden, let's do this deal. What if you donated to the race and by some stroke of luck, you match up with yourself and you go out and win? Now you got 67 plus another 67 in the fan bonus. Super cool deal. If somebody wants to contribute to that, just hit me up 218-969-1380. Hit me up on Facebook, whatever you want to do. I'll get you the details. We got Venmo, we got Zelle. However you want to do it, cash, check, whatever. It's a super cool deal. Really, really excited about it. Changa, I know you're coming up to that. Bert, you are too, because you got to meet my mom. Otherwise, she's going to whoop the shit out of you. And I'll put money on her. Don't even talk, Bert. Bert, don't even talk. No, don't even.
No.
All right.
I do have one comment about that, though. Because our texting chat group, they make fun of me that every race I go to, it rains. So I don't know if you
that's
guys
only at
want me
141.
there.
Have you even been to Minnesota before, Bert? Do you even know how to get out of the state of Wisconsin? Do you have like an ankle bracelet or something that we don't know about?
I have been to Minnesota. I have cousins who live in Minnesota. I've been to Minnesota. I've been to Minnesota for one of my cousin's weddings when I was in high school. During COVID, I went to my uncle's funeral in Minnesota, and then I've been to the airport in Minnesota as just passing through.
Well, come on, Bert. You gotta contribute. Win yourself some Minnesota Vikings tickets.
Right? You could see him play the Bears. That'd be awesome. Your two favorite teams.
Right.
And Bert did tell me he's going to drive to Superior and ride to Hibbing with me. I believe that was on the podcast last week.
I did hear that. That's what I heard on the show.
I told your mom it's probably at least 75% that I'm going. So.
Nice.
All right, so 95% chance Bert is coming. And why would you want to go? Okay, we've talked about this. It's a culture thing, right? The racing is going to be great. We're going to have pretty much every single heavy hitter in the super stocks. Plus, because of the extra money in the other classes, we're going to have some hitters in the mods, Midwest mods, and in the Hornets. National championship contenders in all 4 classes will be in attendance. But there's a ton of stuff going on pre-race. There's a ton of stuff going on post-race, right? City of Hibbing fireworks. There's going to be a hell of a party afterwards. We're working on some details for that. So, we want to bring back not just a race. We want it to be an event. We want it to be a hell of a lot of fun. We're definitely looking forward to it. So let's get into the super stocks. What happened here this past weekend, Changa?
Hey, let Bert
Okay.
go. He said he has a super stock of
Yeah,
his.
Yes.
I
Yes.
actually saw that Dexton Cook got 2 wins this past weekend. He hasn't been racing the super stock as much this year, right?
No, he's kind of been focusing on the late model, but again, when that 78K unloads, he's a threat without question. I mean, king of the podiums in the super stocks over the last 5, 6 years. It seems like he's always kind of leading the way with podium finishes. And yeah, a good weekend last weekend for Dexton Cook.
So
Changa.
Yeah, like you said, Dexton won at Princeton and Ogilvy. Trevor Nelson got his 9th and 10th feature win of the year. He's only run 13 races, but he's got 10 wins now. He won at Brown County and Huron this past week. Dylan Nelson got his 9th of the year with his win in Brainerd. Sobraski got his 8th of the year with his win in Grand Rapids. Jordan Hinkmeyer got his 5th of the year at Bemidji, and he also had a 2nd, 3rd, and 4th at Viking Fiesta City and KRA. Matt Darragon, guy who we talked about last week, hadn't won in quite some time. He went back to back, winning 2 weeks in a row at ABC. So he appears to be warming up. And then Dalton Carlson, another win up in Hibbing to go with a pair of 4ths at Bemidji and Rapids. So them are just a few of the super stock guys I had this week.
And we talk about Dalton Carlson, and we've been talking about him a lot over the last 2, 3 years here. He's been super consistent, especially at home, right? When I call home Grand Rapids, Hibbing, Bemidji, he runs really good on them tight little bull rigs right now, right? And I'm going to get some hate mail from a few of the locals up there that I'm friends with. But right now, if you're going to put money on the line, right, and you're going to take a local driver to have a very good run up there at the Tarde Memorial, he's got to be the odds-on favorite of the local drivers to maybe go out and win this thing. Dalton Carlson has been good, and I told my dad, I'm like, yeah, we'll see when the big boys come to town, right? We'll see when the heavy hitters come, but you go back and watch him. I'm telling you right now, that car rotates good. It gets off the corner. He's driving good. Dalton Carlson could be a sleeper in this deal. He could maybe make some noise in that tardy, and nothing against any of the travelers, right? Out of my hands, who wins that race, but as a local guy, it's always cool to have that local favorite maybe have a shot to win that deal.
For
How
sure.
about for the Natty? Sobraski he unloads the car. He's a threat to win. It just is what it is. Shane, like Bert said, we're kind of getting bored of the 7A winning. He does it all the time. We've been talking about him forever. It's all he does is win. But all that aside, I mean, he unloads the car. Well, there's money on the line, and if you're going to actually put money on it and you don't bet on the 7A, you got like severe brain damage of some kind, right? Because he is
He's my
the
pick for the Tardy Memorial.
he's the number one driver in super stocks, right? And that's no discredit to anybody else, because looking at kind of the natty battle, Dylan Nelson's been quick, right? That car's been quick. Trevor Nelson has been fast. The only thing that hurts him in a national points battle, he's got to travel on a Thursday. He's got to travel on a Sunday, and I don't know what situation at home, but traveling, for regular pay on a Thursday and Sunday from out there is not very cost effective these days. But he's leading the way in wins. But Jordan Hinkemeyer's been super quick as well, but he's got a ways to go in the win column. Who sticks out to you?
Oh yeah, I think you're right there. Shane will always be in the mix, and I think Trevor Nelson's been in the mix before. He's going to definitely be. He's not going to quit winning anytime soon. I think Dylan Nelson looks hungry, right? He looks like he's racing
He
as much, and
does.
he's traveling a little bit, so he does look hungry. Obviously, Steve Stewart, he started out this year with a plan to try to chase points, and he's been running a whole bunch. He's cooled off a little bit as of late. We'll see if he continues to keep hitting her hard. Now, if and gets his things back together. But he'll, all them guys are going to be in the mix.
I
I would have
I
to
think
think.
Steve Stewart, what he needs to do is he needs to follow Sean McFadden home, and
Right.
then like put a padlock on his trailer doors or weld his trailer door shut so he can't unload. Because McFadden's had his number in Proctor. He's been
Oh,
good.
for sure.
Sean McFadden's been good in that 51 junior car. So Super Stocks is still our class. We're super excited for the tardy. 7A's got to be the favorite, but Dalton Carlson right now looking like a kid up north that could make some noise in that deal. Midwest mods, sport mods. You got any sport mods over there, Bert? Not a lot happening over in
um
eastern Wisconsin, or do you have something?
what well, I got to give the Coivlees update, another victory for him. So I started fourth in the feature at the World of Outlaw show. at 141 and won. I mean, just watching him, this is the first time this year that I've seen him race live, and he knows where to put the car, and you can just see the talent that he has as a driver.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's definitely fun to watch.
And I reached out to him this week on Messenger and asked him. I says, "You gonna go down to Boone here for this race? Because I just need the inside story. I want to know if I'm picking you or not." And he got back to me right away. He's like, "God, it's been on my calendar. I want to go really bad, but things just didn't work out. I'm not able to go. So that was kind of a bummer. I'd like to seen him go down there last night and see what he'd do with that big group of the Iowa guys there." Um, I guess my Midwest mods for this week, Ryan Flatten got a pair of wins, winning at Fiesta City and Madison. Got third at KRA. He's a guy that's running 3 nights a week anyway. He's got 8
How
wins
many?
on
Do
the
you
year.
know how? That's what. Thank you. I was just gonna ask how many wins. I will just shut up and let you talk. How's that sound,
Yeah.
Chong? I'll just do
Yeah.
that. I'll just do
If
that in
I
the
didn't
background.
spit it out, I don't know. uh, but the odds-on favorite, obviously, in the points, and I will get to that. But Blake Adams, he got a win at Rapids, and I believe that's 15 BMOD wins on the year in Wissota. So he's definitely got to be the leader in the clubhouse and the odds-on favorite if unless he gets parking that and chasing A mod points, which I don't. I think he can chase them both, right?
You
I
know
thought
who else has 15 wins?
who nobody.
Liker.
Yeah, combined.
Tony and Troy Liker combined. Combined
Yes.
15 wins.
Right,
Yep.
right. Yep, yep.
Beating the
Like,
shit out of each other out west.
yep. I guess I saw something I thought was pretty cool. Up here, we had an all Blevins podium up in Hibbing this week, right? And they were slicing and dicing. I didn't get to see it, but I did hear I read some stuff about it that Sam was leading and he ended up third in the deal. But yeah, uh, Mike Sr., Mike Jr., and then Sam 1, 2, 3 on the podium and there. That's pretty cool. And then I saw uh, this guy, I haven't seen him do a lot of wins, in recent years, but James Vendella went +6 to the win at ABC for his first win of the year. So I thought that was pretty good.
And we look at that, right? We got a big show going on this weekend out there, out in Sheridan, Wyoming, 10 grand to win. And unfortunately, with all the fuel costs and all that, it doesn't sound like a lot of guys are heading west, but one guy that's going to go try to double up and go back to back, Jake Smith, making his trip over there. And he hasn't he's not racing for a natty, but when there's money on the line, that 21 car is super fast. Rodine's going to make his way over there as well, so it's going to be fun to see when you take Rodine, probably one of the top guys, well, maybe the top guy in North Dakota. You take Jake Smith, who's been really good over here, going up against Super Mario out there and the Liker boys. You're going to want to tune in to Dirt Race Central. If you're a Midwest mod fan, which we are, going to be a great race out there in Sheridan, Wyoming this weekend. So how about a shout out here, Brad Parsons Soil and Egg Solutions. So if you're over in Western Minnesota, the Dakotas, kind of anywhere really, he can get you product. But if you're looking to make more money in farming, you can't control the weather, you can't control crop prices, you can't control fuel prices, but you can control what you're using as far as products in your spray packages and whatnot. Give Brad Parson a call at 320-219-3542 to learn about all the stuff they have that can help you make more money, higher yields, and have a profitable planting and farming season. So
I just got to give you the update here. I'm watching the B main for the World of Outlaw late models. You got Tyler Bruning holding down the last transfer spot, and here comes Layla and Amelia split them to take away the last transfer spot.
So I'm not going to mention any names because I don't need him getting hate mail, but we do have somebody that's a major friend of the show that's like, they get way too much airtime. They get way too much talked about. Did one of them make the show? Is the B main over yet?
Yeah, looks like, Amelia got to the inside of him for the last transfer spot, and then Layla went to the top past them both. Looks like Layla's going to be in the show here. Yep, Layla's in the show. And on the outside, looking in, we got Bruning, Eisenschenk, Cole Schill on the outside, Meyer, Gundaker, and Olson on the outside looking in.
Also drove by the Baby Bomber, right? Didn't Matthew Larson start P2 in that one and fall back to 6th? So Layla driving by Baby Bomber as well.
Nice, huh?
There you go. Good job. Congratulations to her. So We just had the street stock race of all street stock races in that heat race that we just watched there. Gresseth, Tourville, Dykoff, and Rant all in the same heat, and Tourville doing what Tourville does. Talk about the street stocks here. Any stock car stuff from out east, Bert?
I mean, at 141, Sean Kilgore won the feature Saturday night. Cole Zarneski, who also raced the late model over the weekend, finished second in the stock car feature. One thing I did forget to mention, that I found interesting, Saturday night when I was looking at who was at Shawano. Shawano was supposed to race Friday and Saturday. Both nights got rained out. And but in the modified division, I saw that Trent Nolan, who we've talked a lot about, he races IMCA stock car. He was in also in a modified at Shawano on Saturday night. So that I don't know if it was his own car or if he was racing somebody else's, but that was interesting.
Okay, okay.
Oh,
Thank you for that.
and
So
I do have to apologize to now I can't think of his name. Vogel and the other
Dykoff.
Dykoff for picking them last week. They both had pretty crappy weekends.
They did. They struggled for sure.
Vogel was in the hunt in a couple of them races, but
Dykoff was not. He's on the we haven't done the not hot list, but he's on the not hot list. Okay, that's just sure.
I was about to put Dandy Don on the not hot list too, and then he finally got a win this the past week. I saw, don't I? KR.
Right. So how about you, Chongo? What do you got in the street stocks here from this past weekend?
It's kind of the same old story every week, right? Keith Tourville won his third, fourth, and fifth races in a row. He's got 12 out of 14 of the races he's run this year have been wins. He won at KRA Fiesta City in Madison. Cole Gressett.
Is he on the Jonathan Davenport tour?
Well, Tourville, yeah, I don't know. He's won a couple at Ogilvy, and
I'm just saying, right? Street stock tour this last week, not too far away from home. And he kind of dodged
the only
it.
One. Rant did the
yeah,
same
I know.
thing,
Yeah,
so.
he did. Well, Rant was at least there on Sunday.
Right. Let's see. Cole Gresseth got his 12th and 13th of the year in 19 races. He won out at Jamestown and at Cheyenne. Levi Rant got his 10th. He won at Viking. He also had 2 seconds and a third this week. And then, of course, we talked earlier about Tommy Pagonis with a first and 2 seconds on the street stock tour. So some of the top guys are staying hot, right?
Well, and I would say Pagonis had the best week, right? I mean, I get it. Tourville had the best week wins-wise, right? But Pagonis 2 seconds and a first on the tour. Yeah. That's a hell of a weekend against all the competition. Gresseth has a bounty on him. They posted on the Cheyenne Speedway Facebook page over in Lisbon, North Dakota. It's at right now $200 to a driver that beats him and wins. Cole Gresseth has been super quick over there. How high does that have to get before Keith Tourville says, "I'm your Huckleberry. I'll make a trip over there"?
Well, or someone. Rant might go out there. Right. I did see they got the same thing. I don't know. It's not a bounty, but I see they got a $200 bonus. Well, it's 100 from Lauren Inman after what you guys tried here the last week, but 100 from Lauren Inman and 100 from someone else. I don't remember who, to any modified driver that comes to Proctor and wins that hasn't been there this year. So that's cool too.
Right. For sure. So I'm going to keep an eye on that bounty deal over at Cheyenne. I mean, if that starts adding up, I might kind of kick in a little bit to that as well. It'd be kind of see if somebody go play with him over there and maybe try to steal a win from him. He's been good, but there's a few guys over there that can make some noise and maybe take some money from him. How about in the grassroots? What do you got there?
So I guess
we're going to call it Coach's Corner, the grassroots recap.
Yeah, right. Bert, you got any? Or?
I do not have any. No grassroots raced in eastern Wisconsin last week.
Fair enough. So I guess the first one I got is a guy we talked about a little bit last week. Coach Kraus did. Connor Bruss. He got his third and fourth win of the year. He got a pair of wins last week at KRA and Princeton in the Mod 4. Jake Smith gets 2 more wins at ABC and Proctor. That's 8 on the year. He also got a second in Grand Rapids last week in the Pure Stock. Nick Ruzich is up to 6 wins this year. He got wins at Hibbing and Proctor, got second in Rapids in the Hornet. And then we talked a little bit about Brady Fosso. He won at Rapids, third at Hibbing, second at Proctor. He's up to 8 wins on the year in the Hornet. And then another title contender there, Jeff Roner, got his 6th and 7th win of the year, winning at I-94 and Viking. He's 7 for 9 on the year in the Hornet.
Yeah, so if we're looking at a natty recap, kind of where we're at, I mean, Mod 4s, I think it's going to be a runaway. Dustin Holquist is kind of driving off into the sunset. I don't know if he's going to be challenged for that one. The Pure Stock's going to be interesting, though. Jake Smith started out kind of cool. He's heating up. He's getting red hot. You got 3 drivers within a win of each other. Simon Wallstrom, Austin Carlson, Jake Smith. That's going to be a very interesting battle down to the wire. And then in the Hornets, Nick Ruzich heating up a little bit, second-generation driver, but Roner and Brady Fosso in the hunt there as well. So I think there's going to be 2 battles out of the 3 grassroots classes that could come down to the very end. It's going to be fun to watch. So how about a quick shout out to coffee drinkers out there that want to maybe have a healthy option. Agara Cafe functional coffee. So if you drink coffee, if you drink energy drinks and you're looking for a healthier boost of energy, Agara Cafe is my choice. That's what I drink on a daily basis. Number one thing it did for me, gives me a lot more energy sustained over the day. I'm not like Bert falling asleep at 7 o'clock. I go up till 2 in the morning. I'm kind of rolling. I don't need energy drinks anymore. It's been good for me. It's helping people with blood sugar numbers, joint pain, weight loss, a lot of different things. That's Agara Cafe functional coffee. Hit me up 218-969-1380. I can get you all the information you need. I can get a bag in the mail and you can try it. Changa?
Well, I was just going to tell you before I forgot, my wife ran out of all of her coffee.
Okay, so she's been drinking it, and if she ran out, that must mean she likes it.
She ran out the bag, yep.
There you go. There you go. So any other tidbits before we jump into our pick'ems and bold predictions?
Let me see if I got anything else real exciting.
Well, I got one thing, I mean, we're maybe a month out from the USA Nationals. And Bert is familiar with the Fans Fund over there. Bert, have you kept an eye on what drivers right now are kind of leading the way in the Fans Fund? What do you got over there?
I was going to look at it today and I didn't get a chance to. I can look at it right now if you want me to.
Yeah, go ahead and take a peek, kind of see where we're at. And
while he does
so
that, I can just touch on a couple little things too. Or go ahead.
Okay. Ahead. Yeah, so the Fans Fund, for those of you wondering, what is the Fans Fund, right? Let's just start with that. So the Cedar Lake Speedway, of course, everybody knows, the USA Nationals, biggest event of the year in our region by far, right? Well, it's a World of Outlaw sanctioned event. So obviously, you're going to get the World of Outlaw late model drivers to come because it's a point race for them. But the Lucas Oil drivers, they may or may not come, right? Your drivers like Jonathan Davenport that aren't really following points, they may or may not come. The economy's tight, money's tight, travel costs are absolutely crazy. It's about $1 a mile to haul a race car around, right? So that extra money that goes in. And sometimes people think, well, this should only be for low budget teams trying to get there. Well, if you're a fan, don't you want to see everybody? That's when I go to a late model race, I want to see all the Lucas cars, all the World of Outlaw cars. I want to see everybody there. Well, how do you get them there? You got to pad their pocket, give them some travel money, enhance their reason for coming. This was put together several years ago as a way to do that, to get people interested to come to that race and support that race that maybe aren't following the series that's racing at that event. And it's worked well for a number of years. People like Ricky Thornton Jr., Devin Moran, people that they don't have a reason to go there for points racing, but they go there because that extra money comes in. So if you're a race fan, if you go to the USA Nationals or if you watch it online and you want to see the best of the best racing against each other for 3 nights over at the Cedar Lake Speedway, you're going to want to tune into that deal. You're going to want to contribute. You're going to want to put some money into that, and it doesn't take very much. Go to fansfund.com for all the details. They have an awesome luncheon the Saturday of the USA Nationals where a small donation just a moderate donation gets you into the luncheon. You get a lunch. You get to actually meet some of the drivers. You have a chance to. Last year, I won a Garrett Albertson shirt. You can win door panels. You can win all kinds of cool things. It's a really good deal they put together. You're going to want to check that deal out if you don't know much about it.
And they also do that Fans Fund Dash too. So the handful of guys that get in through the Fans Fund, they do a little race for, I don't know, it's probably $500 or something to win, but it's an extra little bit more bonus for them.
No, it's like it was like 16 or 1700 for last. That's how they get their money.
Oh,
so
shit.
that money,
Okay.
that money all goes to the Fans Fund Dash, and that money gets the winner of that gets the highest amount. The last place driver gets the least amount, but all of the drivers go in the dash as a way to kind of earn that money they're getting for one extra show.
So I guess I do have one question for you. How much money would we have to raise in this fan fund to get Ricky Weiss back across the border?
That might take a bit. Bert?
Well, maybe you mentioned this. I didn't catch everything, but yeah, the winner of the dash gets a provisional into the USA Nationals.
Yes. Yeah.
So.
Yep. For sure.
Or Alan Murdy on the pole.
Or if they qualify, the highest finishing car in the dash has a provisional.
Right. So somebody that's in the dash that's not already qualified in is going to be in the A-main. Correct.
Right. They don't have any results yet, which isn't surprising. But they have a list of drivers for this year who have said that they would come to the USA Nationals if they are voted in through the Fans Fund. And that includes Daniel Adam, Kyle Bronson, Justin Duty, Tanner English, Jason Feger, Gordy Gundaker, Trevor Gundaker, Michael Leach, Devin Moran, Dallin Murdy, Cody Overton, Brian Shirley, Derek Stewart, and Ricky Thornton Jr.
Well, there you go. Go to fansfund.com, vote for your favorite drivers to see who you want to get over here to the Cedar Lake Speedway. So anything else, guys, before we jump into our Pick'ems recap?
Did you want to touch anything about that bad deal that happened down there at ABC Raceway, or did we get all the details on that at all? Or
I don't know a lot of details. Long story short, I don't want to put a black eye on the sport because there's more good people than bad, but they did a split the pot, and somebody thought that they would take something that wasn't theirs. And the ABC Raceway, hats off to them though, because they made it right, and they're paying the official winner of that. But unfortunate deal there over in Ashland for sure. I don't want to spend too much time on that though.
And then also that young kid, that Bentley Pitts, that died in the crash at Duck River. I don't know. I was unable to really find any details on how it happened or anything like that. Do you know anything about that?
I don't. It looks like it was an enduro type deal, enduro class or an enduro race or whatever it was. But yeah, pretty young kid, 18 years old. And, racing's a dangerous sport. So, don't take it for granted. Safety stuff is ultra important. Don't know any details, but thoughts and prayers to his family for sure. So let's jump into this Pick'ems recap. Dano getting it done. Dan Filto, our winner last week, kind of convincingly too. He kind of put it to us, but a big shakeup up front. Changa had a big lead. Bert, big lead. Big lead, gone. Big lead, gone. Mud flap, kind of maybe beginner's luck, rookie deal. I'm not really sure what to think about this, but after last week, not counting anything that happened this week, but after last week's official standings, Mudflap with a 1-point lead over Changa and the 71A. We're tied 1 point back. Dano at 316. He's, I guess, 15 points out of first. And then Governor at 306. Bromance with a big year this year. Coach touched on that. He's at 300. Not sure if somebody's picking them for him or if he just maybe, I don't know what's going on there, but he's got a team helping him out. He's doing good. He's just outside the top five. Right? Tardy at 297. Now remember, Tardy was the early leader in the clubhouse for the first month or so. Boy, he dropped like a lead balloon. So he's at 297. Bert, you're 2 points back from passing him up. Rainman 1 point behind you. And then Uper rounding out the top 10. Then we got Worker Bee, Beefcake, Man Bundan, and Cue Ball trying to get out of being the cellar dweller, see if he can catch Man Bundan. Changa, what are we picking this week? And then let's just touch on what race we're most excited about. So tell us what we're picking first.
Okay, well, this week's picks are World of Outlaws. Obviously, Monday night at Ogilvy Raceway. Tonight, as we're doing the show at I-94 Speedway. River City's on Friday and Nodak on Sunday. We're doing the Hell Tour. Was Monday in Peoria. I believe that was rain. Last night in Benton Speedway, which was won by the Ageless Wonder, number 857 overall, 102 on the Summer Nationals Tour, Billy Moyer. Tonight, I believe, rained out too, did it not?
Rained out.
Okay, that was
Yep.
at Quincy. Tomorrow, we're doing Thursday at Springfield Raceway, Friday at Paducah International, Saturday at the Tri State Speedway, and then Sunday at Windy Hollow Speedway. We did the IMCA Harris class at the Boone Speedway last night. We did modifieds, stock cars, and sport mods. We're going to do the Lucas Oil Late Models Firecracker 100 in Lernerville. They race Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We're doing USMTS modifieds versus UMP modifieds at Macon Speedway, little fifth miler in Macon, Illinois, there Friday and Saturday. Then we're doing the 10,000 to win Midwest Modified Show out at Sheridan Speedway. We talked a little bit about that a little earlier. Then we're doing high limit sprints at the Big Sky Speedway in Billings, Montana, Friday and Saturday. We were going to do that in Montana Madness, but did you tell that Gallatin? You told me that got rained out.
That rained
That's
out.
right.
Yep.
And then World of Outlaws sprint cars at the Cedar Lake Speedway Friday and Saturday.
What are you most excited about?
Well, I want to just say you missed the Dirt Kings race. They race on Friday night.
Oh,
I did, but I was talking. It's like, man, with so few people following it, we'll have to talk about if we're going to continue to pick that or not. I don't know. What do you think, Bert? Would everybody pick Anvilink and Swedberg? Is that kind of what?
Probably.
Yeah.
Well, Anvilink, everybody would probably pick. If you have to pick two, there'd probably be some differences on the second driver.
Right. So, what are you looking forward to this week?
Well, obviously, I'm looking this week. I was really looking forward to this Northern Swing for the World of Outlaw Late Models plus JD. Right? I mean, it's always nice to when the touring series can come to your area and kind of display our tracks and hopefully put on a great show for the whole country to see. So I guess that'd be what I'm most looking forward to.
Bert?
I mean, I would tend to agree with Changa when a series comes into your geographic area. But just to be different, I will, uh, I'll say the Lucas Oil Late Model Series. Racing at Lernersville is always pretty good, so I'll go with that one. And I'm interested to see how Max Blair does, kind of in his home on his home turf, somewhat. So, he's been running well everywhere else, so it'd be good to see him race on his home turf.
Yeah,
100%. I actually picked him for one of the nights too. Bert, did you pick him at all?
Thursday night I picked him.
That's when I picked him too. Yeah, weird. All right, so I guess
what time did you pick him? What time did you pick him? I sent you my picks at about 3 o'clock.
I had mine done last night.
I can confirm he turned his picks in to me at about, I don't know, when I was on my way home from work.
Right. Yep. So bold predictions. So we'll get caught up on the standings next week. I was in Montana traveling, working on this tardy race, kind of keeping me busy. Changa, do you have all of our predictions from last week, or do you want to defer?
Yeah, I know I got all three of mine right, but I don't have the results. I didn't do it.
I know I got one of my three right. So yeah. I don't know how Bert did.
I didn't even. I have the paperwork.
I got at least two wrong. I can't remember what my third pick was.
Yeah,
It
we'll
was
talk about
wrong.
that next week. So let's do this. Let's go Bert, and then we'll go Changa and Uper, and then I'll round it out. So Bert, why don't you give us your first prediction?
I will go. I'll just go. Tanner English will have at least of the remaining Hell Tour races this week. He'll have at least 2 feature wins.
Oh, good one.
Oh,
Boy, that Mother Nature better start playing nice.
at least 2 races got to happen, or at least 3, or what are we saying there?
At least 2.
At least 2. Okay. Wow, that is bold then. All right, that's why it's called bold predictions. All
That's
right,
why it's called
Changa,
bold
what do you?
predictions.
Atta kid.
Well,
Changa, what do you got for your
you
first?
want me to give you Uper's first?
Sure.
Okay, so Uper's first pick. Donnie Schatz will have 2 top 10 finishes, one of them being a podium at Cedar Lake Speedway this week. If only one night races, it will be a top 5.
Okay. Okay. Donnie Schatz, 2 top 10s, and at least 1 podium if they both race. If only one races, it'll be in the top 5. I like it.
Okay, so I'm gonna
What do you
go,
got?
I guess, for my first pick, and I'm gonna go on this Northern World of Outlaw swing. We'll count Ogilvy. So between Ogilvy, I-94, Grand Forks, what's the other one out there? Dakota
Mandan.
Speedway. Yep, and Mandan, and then they go
Yep.
to Ada, right? After that,
Yep.
and then
That's
they'll
next
go,
week, but
and
you're
then
gonna
there's
count that? Okay,
yep,
that's fine.
well, yeah, I'll count next week too, and then 2 at Deer Creek, right?
Is there 2 or 3 there?
I think they changed it 40,000 to win, and it's only 2 nights this year. Is it? Am I wrong on that, Bert?
I'm not
What's
sure.
that?
So
The
we'll
goal for
just put the
50 is
goal for
only 2
50.
races this year, and it's 40,000 to win.
I don't know.
Okay, well, I'm gonna
All right,
say,
that's a week out. Okay.
but I'm gonna lump that whole northern swing together. I'm gonna say, oh, no more. I got to make it bold. I'll say no more than 2 winners. All
Okay.
the races will be won by one of 2 guys.
Okay. No more than 2 winners throughout that whole swing. Okay. That could change tonight. Well, or that couldn't change tonight because we've had one night get in. That could change on Friday. All right. So that's your second one. That's
My
your
first
first
one.
one. My first one here is I'm going to go to the USMTS race over at the mighty Macon Speedway in Illinois, the little 5th-mile deal, UMP cars versus USMTS. UMP mods will make up at least 40% of the top 5 finishes in the 2 nights at Macon. Non-USMTS, I'll say that, non-USMTS cars will make up at least 40% of the top 5 finishes.
So 2 of the top 5.
Well, four of the 2 top 5s. Yep. Bert,
I'll go Lucas Oil, Max Blair, and RTJ will have a better average finish than Huddy and Bishop.
okay, repeat that one more time.
Oh,
Max Blair and RTJ a better average finish than Huddy and Bishop.
all right.
Wow. Okay. All right. I like it. I like it. All right. What do we got for Youpers?
Oh God, I'm sleeping here. Uper's second pick. At least one of the Eisenshanks will be in the feature at I-94 River Cities in Nodak.
Okay. So one night's already in, and one of the Eisenshanks is in. So
Ain't alive.
that, yep, staying alive. One Eisenshank in at River Cities I-94, and Nodak. At least one Eisenshank makes a show at each of them. And Layla getting her done tonight, getting in the A main. Changa, your second one.
Let's see. I'm going to go to Cedar Lake for the World of Outlaws sprint cars. And I'm going to say in the 2 nights, there's no more than 4 different podium drivers.
No more than 4 different podium drivers. Okay. I'm going to go to the high limits out at the Big Sky Speedway. I'm going to go with 2 drivers kind of emerging right now that are running pretty darn strong. Okay. Brent Marks, Tanner Holmes will both have they will have Brent Marks, Tanner Holmes will have a better combined finish than Rico and Reitzel.
I like it. That track's going to be a curveball. I don't know what to expect out there.
Yep. So Rico and Reitzel have been the favorites all year long, right? That's kind of been
This is awesome.
Yep. So I'm going to go Marks and Holmes, better average finish, better combined finish, I should say, than Rico and Reitzel at Big Sky.
Like it.
All right, Bert.
Last week did Logan Seavey win any races? Any features?
One, I think.
I don't even know that.
Then if he won one, then I got all 3 of mine wrong.
Okay. That was 2 weeks ago, wasn't it?
No, that was last week.
Oh, did we have midgets last week? Okay.
Yeah. The Ohio, I don't know.
Yeah,
whatever.
the Indiana Speed Week. Yeah.
I think he won no, I don't know. I don't know if he won any, did he?
Yeah, I can't remember. That was a long time ago.
Okay.
I know he got second the first night, and I don't remember. I don't think he won any because I think they had a couple of rainouts too.
Yeah, they did.
The Sheridan Speedway race is still on this weekend, right?
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna go Troy Liker and Tony Liker will both get podium finishes, with one of them being a feature win.
Okay. I like it. I like it. Boy, they're due, right? I mean, they're good enough. They just have horseshit luck at that deal. I would have to think that it's not a bunt because it ain't happened yet out there at that deal. So that's a good one. All right, Uper's third one.
Uper's third prediction. The Hermantown hemorrhoid, Keith Erickson, will have a better finish Friday in the Renegade Sprints at Cedar Lake Speedway than Brent Larson will at River City Speedway. Note, Renegades need at least 20 cars.
Yeah, I think that one's already not going to happen because I just don't see any way they get 20 cars.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, I would like to see him get 20 cars. I just don't see that happening. I just don't see. I hope they do. I hope they do. Does anybody get 20 cars anymore? I don't know.
Yeah, God, that'd be a tall task.
For sure. All right, what's your third one?
Oh God, I got a whole bunch of different directions I could go with this.
They're starting 30 Midwest mods at Fergus.
Jesus, huh? They're gonna wear the track out before the late models get out there. Are they gonna run streeters last? I assume.
Right. I hope so.
Yes. I guess I'll go with my third pick. I'll go out to the Lucas Oil as well, and I'm gonna say, I don't know, how can I make this? I'll go. I'm gonna go Moran and well, I don't know. I'll go Moran and Shepard. Better average finish than Huddy and RTJ.
Okay. I think that's kind of a bunt.
I think that's a 50-50. let's be honest, RTJ and Moran haven't been that good. Shep's been the hottest guy in the series.
Sheppy's good there. Sheppy is
Well,
legit good there.
yeah, let's be honest, RTJ, Huddy, and Moran are good everywhere, and so is Sheppy.
Right.
It's a which group's gonna have someone that breaks essentially.
So I'm gonna go with the World of Outlaw late model races, not counting Ogilvy, because that one already happened, all the way through the show. So that would count next Monday's race. There's nothing between Monday and then the go for 50, right? So
I don't believe so.
Yeah, so we'll count Ada. We'll go through Ada, okay? And I will say this. I'm gonna say I'm gonna go bold. Hoffman with a better average finish than Pierce.
Starting tonight?
Nick Hoff starting tonight.
Okay,
Yep.
they're both side by side in the second row, so.
Okay. Yep. Nick Hoffman, better average finish than Bobby Pierce. So there you have it.
You know what? I
Episode
gotta tell
number.
you, my cousin Billy, coming up to this week, he would have been happy, because he was on the Nick Hoffman bandwagon. But I did get word from him, no longer on the Nick Hoffman bandwagon. He is full speed ahead on Team 32. He's a Bobby Pierce guy now. So
Okay.
he told me he don't even want me to get him any of them stinking Hoffman shirts.
Well, you told me, which is weird, because you told me he was a turbo guy when we were talking.
Well, some weeks he's gonna be, maybe. I don't know. I gotta tell you, I know nobody knows this, but I'm a fan of the 32. I don't know if you guys knew that, but
Yeah, Terry Anvilink.
so since this car come out, the first night it came out was at Eldora at the Castro race. It broke, and since then he's won all but one race. The one night that he didn't win, I was wearing a turbo shirt and turbo won. That fucking shirt's never going on me on a race night again.
Buy you a whole bunch of turbo shirts at the
Yeah, I'm
USA
not gonna wear
Nationals.
them.
Well, we saw what happened when you wore the Pierce shirt at the USA Nationals last year.
Yeah, that's a. I don't ever wear that on
He
race night.
literally got his ass whooped by the B1 bomber.
Yeah, I mean, if Eisenchenks would have been there, they would have lapped him.
That could be. So, all right, that's episode 308. I'm Ryan. That's Chonga. That's Bert. Thanks for tuning in to the One to Go show.
Mm.